Alright, so here we're watching my friend Clintastik. He's streaming online and they're doing a face-off on Arena using Alchemy decks. And Clintastik will be using an Alrund's Epiphany deck. It used to be very strong in standard before it was banned. But here we are facing off against the new Grinning Ignus combo deck in Alchemy. So the Grinning Ignus uses lots of combos in green-red because of cast of Grinning Ignus, the card itself. So anyway, here we have opening hand of pretty good. Got the island, mountain, and a pathway. It's got a divide by 0, a good spell that can bounce other spells or permanents. Prismari command, good utility card. He's got the key card, Alrund's Epiphany. As 7 mana to take an extra turn, and he can foretell that for 2 mana on turn 2, so it's a pretty good start for Clint. He even has expected windfall for 4 mana, which can create treasures. And so the opponent, Sims, has just mulliganed once. Alright, and they're ready to start, so Clint is going first. Alright, so he puts down the island, mountain, and Sims with his innkeeper. Good play.
What do I want to do? That's the question.
It's now Sims' turn. Ooh, Cabaret Rebels. This is one of the combo pieces for Grinning Ignus. When you cast a creature spell, seek a creature card of lesser mana value and put it onto the battlefield. So there's only one way to counter it, which is divide by 0, but it's more of a delaying tactic. So not much Clint can do here. He can just try to get rid of the innkeeper. Perhaps create a treasure to start ramping up. Alright, so he's going by divide by 0 to delay it, and probably take he's got to take a lesson, which is from the sideboard. He could do teachings of the archaics, which is draw cards. Probably not mascot exhibition, it's a bit early for that. Okay, so he took the environmental sciences and he's gonna put the pathway up. Okay, so he just passed, probably holding up the unexpected windfall to cast at the end of the opponent's turn. Sims has got the mana. He recasts Revels. No choice now but to let it go. So now Clint can either windfall or command. He chooses the windfall. Probably environmental sciences. He doesn't really need it, I think. Double Galvanic Iteration. That is interesting. So right now, he can either put the hazard down as a land, which I think he will. Yep. Because he still has Prismari command that can deal 2 damage to the innkeeper, so at least you have that option of birding the innkeeper if needed. Pass the turn. So the Galvanic Iteration will allow him to copy an instant sorcery, the next instant of sorcery, but he doesn't have enough mana to do both for Epiphany and Iteration. So right now Sims has cast the Grizzled Hunt Master. Scary creature. Okay, he's got a double Innkeeper, and now the Racketeer Boss, another piece in the puzzle. He gets to seek a creature card, put into play, gets the Veteran, which gains life. So the Racketeer Boss will give a creature card in his hand perpetual ability to, I believe, create a treasure when they cast it. So that would be Grinning Ignus if he has it in his hand. So every time he casts it, he creates a treasure, and that treasure can be used to bounce back Ignus to the hand. So Sims has got a lot of his combo out. I'm not sure what Clint can do now except take lots of extra turns. He could probably get rid of one Epiphany. Or you could do the island and iteration. It really depends if he can get a creature on the board. I kind of feel like he does need the burn down the house to get rid of the creatures. Okay, he's got a Snarl that he can put down and reveal untapped, come in untapped. So he got rid of the burn down the house, which I'm a bit surprised. I think I would have tried to burn things down, because now taking an extra turn might not help much. I'm not sure. Well, it is 4 birds on the field. He has 2 turns. This is the first of the extra turn, so he can swing in for 8 damage, I think. Alright, he's got all the Epiphanies in his hand, so maybe that's game actually, because next turn will be his second free turn, and then he will cast his Epiphany to get another extra turn. But first he's gonna copy it and take even more extra turns, so another 2 extra turns, and he gets 4 birds, so that's 8 power on the field. Alright, this is the first of the new 2 extra turns. Okay, he's got a land, and he's got Burning Hands, which I think is a burn spell. Let me see. So all he has to do is just swing in with his birds, and then he's pretty much golden. Yeah, that was great. That was great play. Sweet. Wow. Didn't expect him to get all 4 Epiphanies, I think, in his hand. And so it turns out he made the right choice of just discarding the burn down the house. I thought discarding one of the Epiphanies would have been better, but he had enough mana to cast Iteration and then copy the Alrund's Epiphany, meaning he gets 2 extra turns each time, and all he has to do is just recast Epiphany again in one of his free turns, and he can just continue hitting with his birds. So one thing good about the Epiphany is that it creates those 1/1 birds, which otherwise, if you did not have a creature on the board, it would have been a bit difficult to fly in for the win. So I think that's what made Epiphany very strong in Standard, and especially the ability to foretell. Alright, so we're going to the second match between Clintastik and Sims. So So Sims again is using the Grinning Ignus combo. We didn't see it go off at all earlier. Probably if we had a couple more turns. If he had a couple more turns, he would have gone off easily. So let's see if we can see the combo this time. Alright. Okay, Sims took one mulligan. He starts first with the Garden Triland. So now what should we do? Normally I would just put the Snarl in. I think I reveal the island. Because both of them know each other's decks, so there's no point hiding the fact that you're playing blue-red. Alright, we've got the Innkeeper again on turn 2. Probably no need to Fading Hope the Innkeeper. Okay, there's Island. So what can Clint do? Alright, Devilish Valet. This is quite scary because every time he casts another creature enters the battlefield, it doubles the power. And Grinning Ignus actually can enter as many times as he wants. So I'm surprised he didn't counter that. I would have countered it. But I think he wants to leave his counter spell up for one of the bigger combo pieces, maybe the Revels, which we saw earlier in the previous game. And now we have turn land number 4 with the Inquisitor Captain. This is a digital only card. So when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it at 20 more creatures with mana value 3 or less, you can, I believe, search. You can seek 2 of them and put one in the battlefield and one in your hand, I think. That's a scary card. I wonder why he didn't counter that. I would have countered. Oh, because he has the treasure.
So interesting.
So right now Clint is on the back burner, and unfortunately opponent's creatures are all 3 toughness, while the Prismari command only deals 2 damage. So a little bit behind. So what I'll do is probably...
I should not have let this hit. That's my beat. I thought that said just creatures in the graveyard. No, but it says creatures graveyard, hand, and library. I'm definitely not wearing my glasses at the moment.
So out comes the Devilish Valet again. Can't counter it, can only delay by divide by 0. Doesn't feel good. I think the best strategy now is to just use Prismari command to try and dig for a sweeper, because there are too many creatures on the board right now, and I think you can't control the board. So by using Prismari command, probably draw 2, discard 2. And there goes a veteran on the board. Double the power again of the Valet. It's going to divide by 0 again. It's too bad there isn't a sweeper spell in the lessons. It's gonna recast the Valet. That's a ton of value. I think gaining life would that work? Gain 2 life up to 15. If the valley goes off and doubles power 2 times, then, or 3 times, then that would be game, I think. Gotta use the Prismari, come on.
We got like one chance here, and that's fine.
Alright, veterans out, everything's out. You should burn one of the... I would have burned one of the innkeepers while finding draw 2 cards and discard a card. But he chose to create a treasure, which also, I guess it makes sense. Ooh. But double iteration is not going to help. So it's top decking time. Alright. So that might be it. He could take an extra turn now and just hope to draw the burn down the house. So he can cast Epiphany. You could just hard cast Epiphany, create 2 birds, and then draw a card. The command is also a good choice. You can draw 2, discard 2, create a treasure. Hope to find that burn down the house. And he does not find it. Alright, so he has to hope that Sims does not draw a creature, otherwise that would be game. So you can burn one of the spells, one of the creatures, probably Bergie. Alright, and he can bounce the captain. That's his only play left, I think. Yeah, unfortunately bouncing the captain would mean he can recast it to Seek. So we're down to 1. So yeah, probably the better play would have been to just burn the captain and then bounce Bergie.
Yeah, I definitely killed the wrong creature.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a burn down the house at the top of the deck, so one last chance for survival, which would be Alrund's Epiphany, and it's not. So yeah, that would be game. He has no outs, I think. So the Valet really did a lot of damage, and so did the Captain, because the Captain can seek 2 creatures from the library, which is really strong ability. So the Mascot Exhibition will create 3 creatures for 7 mana. Still surviving.
This Inquisitor is what really got me this game. Essentially.
So I guess it depends if what the Sims have in his hand. Recast directly a boss. And he has to block everything because he's at 1 life. He can recast the Phantoms, which were the Disturb's ability. And yeah, that would be it. No way to block against that. Okay, the last match, best of 3. So they each at 1-1. Clint is going first. Got nice 3 lands. And a couple of Fading Hopes to hopefully bounce some stuff. And delay any combos by Sims. And now this time, luckily, there is a burn down a house in his hand. So no problems, I think, as long as he can get his lands. Divide by 0. So the Innkeeper comes back. Hall of Storm Giants will come in tapped, unfortunately. But it is land, and one step closer to burn down the house. Cabaret Revels. Clint's deck doesn't really have a way to deal with enchantments, so once it's on a board, it's there's almost, I think, no way to get rid of it. Counter spells would have helped. Maybe a sideboarded a negate or spell pierce would have been good. Right now, Clint is just waiting if any of the key creatures would come in, and we still haven't seen the Grinning Ignus at all. So no combos at all. Bergie is out. And the Rebels brings in another Innkeeper from the library. So one of the crazy mechanics from the Alchemy format in Arena. There it is, Grinning Ignus. So Bergie adds a red mana and Rebels will seek another creature. Wow, gain life and the Voice of the Blessed will just grow bigger. Yeah, so I would bounce the Voice of the Blessed. Make sure it doesn't grow to bigger than 5 toughness. And then next turn I would cast Burn Down a House. This also works. Oh, it brings down Bergie. Okay. Memory Deluge. So the Ignus on the board, you would gain life. Have a 6/6 flying. I see why it bounced back Bergie, because Bergie would create a combo with Ignus. And is that a finishing move? No, it's not. He ran out of mana. But now he's got a 10/10 Voice of the Blessed to deal with. If he burns down the house, the Voice of the Blessed would still come in and deal 10 damage later, but he'll still be alive. But if he doesn't get rid of Bergie, then Bergie will just create that infinite loop with Grinning Ignus. So that's even worse. He had another Innkeeper, brought in a Veteran, grows the Voice of the Blessed, cast Ignus. Yeah, that's game. He's going to bring in another creature, gain more life.
The whole playset of Prosperous Ink. Does this go tutor?
Alright, wow, that was a very powerful finish, a 16/16 straight to the face by using the combo pieces of Voice of the Blessed, Grinning Ignus, cabaret revels to seek in the innkeepers and the veterans. Is it the veterans? The one that gains life. So all these help the voice of the Blessed. Okay, Clint is going first. It's got 3 lands, which is great. He decides to just put in the Druari Disruption land as a tap land, because it hasn't been useful in the previous game. Okay, turn 2. He's got the Foretell for Epiphany. It's a good start. Now all he needs is... And there's the Innkeeper again on turn 2 for the 4th straight game. And there is Revels, which is a big problem. This is what has been causing all those free creatures from the graveyard. So I realized the Epiphany deck doesn't have a lot of ways to deal with these cards, such as the enchantments. Doesn't have a lot of burn spells apart from Prismari Command and Burn Down the House. And the problem with Prismari Command is that it deals 2 damage, whereas many of the creatures on the Grinning Ignus deck have 3 toughness, like Bergie and the Captain. So it's a bit awkward not being able to kill off their creatures, because if you get rid of their creatures, then you're trying to get rid of their combo pieces. So it seems like the only way that Epiphany's deck can win is to just try to get that extra turns going, like what we saw in the first game. Alright, expected windfall. Nice, ramping up, create 2 treasures. And soon he'll be able to take some extra turns. The Cathartic Pyre is a good spell here in this matchup because yeah, it deals 3 damage. So we didn't see that many of those earlier. But if Bergie comes on the board, definitely will need, I think he'll need to do that. Alright, Valet. So let's see what Sims will do. There goes Bergie. And Clint has no counter spells, but we do have the Cathartic Pyre, which is going to be important. So probably I would cast Iteration, copy the Pyre, and get rid of both Bergie and the Valet. I didn't. Okay. Decides to go with Memory Deluge. Picks up the Hall of Storm Giants and the Unexpected Windfall. I think he was looking for Burn Down the House, but it's not there, unfortunately. So it's just gonna take some extra turns with the copying. So he gets his 4 birds. But right now, what can he do? Okay, first thing is to attack, because there is still an extra turn after this. So we can afford to attack and then later decide whether he wants to attack again. With the Iteration, you get the copy, the Windfall. double windfall means draw 4, discard. Does he know? No, draw 4 and then create 4 treasures. And there is the burn down the house. Why?
I thought I had another.
I think he thought he had another Epiphany, but it's the memory deluge. So he already cast the iteration, so he has to cast another instant and sorcery to copy it. Discard 2 cards, probably some lands. Alright, he's got a second Epiphany and a burn down the house, so deluge and burning hands. Okay. Alright, so now he's got to swing in and then burn down the house, or can he cast Epiphany again?
Really needed one more mana.
He doesn't have extra mana, so he will have to burn down the house, I think, if he wants to stay alive. Okay, attack in for 4 and then burn down the house. Oh, he's going for Epiphany. I was gonna foretell. Okay, foretell and then burn down the house. Yeah, that's quite a good play actually. It's not bad. You use more treasures, but it allows him to cast Epiphany for only 6 next turn, which I think with iteration you will need 9 mana, and which he does have 9. Ooh, the Rebel's just killing it. Ooh, but nothing came in. Does he mean there's no other creatures? Okay, double Epiphany means 4 birds.
We get a whole turn after this.
He can't activate the hall, I think. No blocks. Even if he turns the hall into a giant, it's not going to win the game. Ah, okay, you can bounce it back. So I think that, yep, that would be game.
Okay.
Alright. So our 4 matches an equal 2-2, 2 wins, 2 losses for the Epiphany deck against Grinning Ignus combo in the Alchemy format. Not a bad showing, I think. As long as if you tempo the game right, build up your mana base, hold off the threats for as long as possible, then you can really go off with double Epiphany and swing in with the birds, and there's no way the opponent can stop you. And you can also check out our website at tapandsac.com, where I and others write articles on Magic strategy, and we also play some arena and commander games. So yeah, do check us out and take care. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.